What's up everybody, and welcome to day 3 of Foundation. Today we're reinforcing our ability to control the stick with quality through accent tap, and we're also introducing our first application skill, Paradiddles. After today, you will have laid the groundwork for developing speed, accuracy, and control, and applied them to the most foundational and most important exercises you will ever play as a drummer. So if you're ready, let's do it. What's up everybody? We're here working on accents and taps. Here are the skill sets that we're working on. Make sure you pick something, make sure you know what you're working on as you're getting to know yourself through accents and taps. But if you're ready, I'm ready to get into this. I'm excited. This is going to be fun. Alright, take a look at the music down below, but otherwise definitely memorize that as fast as you can so that you're not thinking about the music and what's coming next. You want to be thinking about what your hands are doing and how to get better at it. But we're going from 80 to 90 beats per minute through this. Not very fast. This is a foundational skill set and we're going to control it. So here we go. We're diving into our first tempo. We're at 80 beats per minute. We're going to 90. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, here we go. Nice and legato, nice and rebounded. Right in time with your feet. Very good. Again, last time here. Memorize what this feels like, because you're going to use it throughout the whole exercise. Same height every time. We're building chops here. And memorize. Don't speed up. Nice and even. Two, one more time here. Make every note sound the same. Really listen. Even on those hand transitions. How are those tacit hands? Very good. All right. This exercise is very challenging at this tempo because we want to speed up, especially when we're at a low height, right? So that's something we're really going to have to focus on at the low tempo. So this is an exercise, honestly, you can come back to even when we're really up in the tempo, when we're burning it. This is something that's totally worth coming back to see if you can truly have control at a slow tempo. It's much easier to control this exercise once we get in the 100 to like 140 range. But at 80 beats a minute, that's no joke. That takes a tremendous amount of tempo control. All right, so as for a little bit, it's going to get a little bit easier as we bump the tempos up. So just know that, but develop your technique at this tempo, right? Don't think that because it's slow, that means it's easy. Unfortunately, I don't know if it's good or bad, just the reality is sometimes going slower is much harder. Okay, so at least tempo-wise. And it gives you time to think about what does something feel like, and you can make adjustments much faster. So there's benefits and challenges to this tempo that we're going through. But we're going to 82 beats a minute. Why don't you join me? Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, go. Memorize how this feels. Nice and legato, even though it's a low height. Nice relaxed downstrokes. Make it feel the same on the left. Good control. Same heights every time. Good taps. Very good. Again, last time here. See if you can become robotic about it. The same exact accents, the same exact taps. Take a look down. Very good. Very good. Yeah, one of the things about being robotic, I don't mean to turn you into a robot. There's plenty of time for that later. But be robotic in a sense where once you develop what it feels like to play a tap or a legato stroke at this height with your left hand and with your right hand, see if you can replicate that every single time. You want to burn this into your biochemistry in your body so that when you play at this height, at this tempo, your body just knows what to do. It's a feeling more than it is something like a decision that you want to make. You don't want to be making a decision. You want to have this burned into your hard drive, your memory, so that you can just turn it on whenever, whatever it is that you're working on. If you're playing something real cool on a snare drum or moving around the drums and you want to get real quiet and then pop out with cool accents, you want to be able to just tap into that without thinking. So that's the sense of roboticness that's super useful to have. And if you're ready, I'm ready, and we are at 84 beats a minute. Think about it. 1, 2, 1, 2, here we go. Make sure your feet are still driving you. Do your left and right hands sound the same? Very good. Again, 1, 2, ready, go. Nice and rebounded. All driven by the wrist. Don't use too much arm. You don't need any arm here. Nice and controlled. Awesome. Really good job. One thing that I wanted to point out was make sure you're finishing each phrase, right? Each different accent pattern that we have, it ends, almost every single one of them, with a couple exceptions, end on a tap. Right? So make sure you're playing that last tap really well before you switch to the left hand or switch to the right hand, right? A lot of times we're thinking ahead, as we have to be, in order to prepare ourselves to play well, but don't jump ahead too far. Make sure you're still finishing each phrase and playing that last eighth note with the exact same intention and energy as the first one, right? They all matter equally, but sometimes we get a little bit ahead of ourselves and we value different notes more. We don't want to do that. We want to value every single one of them at 100%. All right, we're getting closer to our goal tempo here. We're at 86 beats per minute. Make some adjustments. Figure out what you want to work on. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, go. Nice and rebounded. Make it feel consistent. Very good. 2, again, 2, 86. Drive those feet. Play perfectly with your feet. There's a lot to think about now. Make your left hands and right hands feel the same. Very good. Think about what your tendencies are with each different pattern, right? One of my tendencies, especially at this tempo, is when we get to the bucks, those just continuous accents. At this tempo, I want to rush. So that's something I have to think about, right? Maybe your tendency is you want to rush here, right on these eighth notes in the beginning. Maybe you're a little bit slow. Maybe you're tensing up the more there's accents, right? This is one of the harder patterns in this exercise. It's hard to talk and play. That's one of the harder parts of this exercise because there's all 3 different strokes, 4 strokes in 3 notes right away. So maybe that's a challenge for you. Maybe you get overly tense there. Figure out what your patterns are and your tendencies are and start to anticipate them before you get to that part so that when you know, all right, I'm not going to rush when I get to these. Yeah, then you can be right in time. Always anticipate your tendencies before they happen. That way, you can stop them. I can't stop them. I can only stop mine. I'd love to stop yours, but I can only give you little tips here. Speaking of tips, we're getting close to the top. Ooh, that is rough. That was something. All right, we're at 88 beats per minute. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, go. Think about your tendencies before they happen. You can look down. Very good. 2, again, 2, 88. Nice and consistent. Your taps feel the same? I hope so. Awesome. We are jumping to 90 beats per minute, and as you may have noticed, we're 10 clicks up. There's a tremendous difference in how this feels. You won't notice the difference, but if we were to drop back down to 80, you'd realize, I feel like you have a half an hour between every single note you're playing, right? So much time to think. You have less time to think when you're at 90 beats per minute, and that's a good thing, right? Sometimes we overthink things, sometimes we start to overcorrect based on time, but also moving faster gives us a little bit of a chance to develop some momentum and to really replicate the patterns in our body, right? Let's get this nice and legato tap stroke, and then let's apply it whether or not there's an accent somewhere, right? The accent just moves, but we're just playing tap strokes, right? We're playing nice legato eighth notes, right? Very low end, and then an accent, no problem. I can put an accent there, I can put an accent there, no matter where the accent goes. That's what we're building here. And we're at our goal tempo. Yeah, look at us now. 90, here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, go. Drive your feet. Very good. 2, again, 2, ready, go. Find the groove. Nice and consistent. All right, we're at 94. We're getting a little glimpse into where we're headed in the next video in our next set of tempos. One, two, 1, 2, ready, go. Nice and consistent. Very good. Last time here. 1, 2, again, go. Drive with your feet. Nice and consistent between hand transitions. Nice and even. Controlled heights. Very good. All right. You already know what we're doing. We're bumping back down to our goal tempo. We're doing performance reps right away. This isn't pushing, 94 is not pushing us to the point where we need to resettle in here or anything like we did in some of those singles. We're jumping right to 90. I want you to think about your tendencies right now, and we're going for 2 performance reps. All right? Your best representation of this whole practice section that we've been doing. If you had to record a video right now and put it on the internet, what's the best thing that you can do? All right? Put the pressure on. Here we go. 2 reps. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, go. Very good. 2, very last time here. You did it! 90 beats per minute. Huge jump between 80 and 90. There's a tremendous amount that we went over in this section here. Hopefully that felt great. Hopefully by the time you got to 90, you went back and looked at 80 and you're like, wow, I can see all the growth that I made just in this session here. If you're ready to jump to the next tempo, I will see you there. If you're not, that's cool too. Back it up and do this section again. Pick a tempo that felt a little bit weird, or where you started to notice where you had weird tendencies. You were squeezing the stick too much. You were rushing. You were dragging at points. There was just a lot to think about. If you're ready for the next one, I'll see you there. If not, rewind. No problem. That's why we're here. Otherwise, thanks a lot for playing along, and I will see you in the next one. What's up, everybody, and welcome to Paradiddles. I'm really excited to work through this exercise with you. This is a great builder exercise. We're going to have several of these builder exercises that we'll work through depending on the rudiment. But this is also the first rudiment that we're working through that's actually like directly applicable to what you're playing. I know single strokes, they are directly applicable to playing, fast and light on the hi-hat. Same thing with accent tap, but it's not the complete picture. You can play some complete figures now that we've gotten to this point with single strokes and accent and tap and double beat, and now add paradiddles in, we're combining these skills and we're going to get to play some really cool stuff. So I'm really excited to go through this with you. If this is your first time working through paradiddles, or if you haven't gone through any of these with me before, make sure you take a look at the intro video. I'll walk you through how we're going to play this exercise and the importance of everything that we're doing and the order and why the exercise is written the way that it's written. But if you're ready, then let's dive in here. Let's take a look at all the important things that are worth thinking about as we're working through paradiddles. Make sure you know what you're working on. Obviously, we're going to increase the tempo, but you need to have your own goal. You know what your tendencies are when you go from singles, you know what your tendencies are from accent taps, and you know what your tendencies are at double beat. This is going to combine all of those skills. So if you have little errors or things that you're working on, they will show up here. They will absolutely show up here, and you'll find some new things show up here as well. So make sure you pay attention to what you know you need to work on. But otherwise, anything else we're talking about? No, let's get into it. Let us start. We're going from 80 beats per minute to 90 beats per minute, and we're working on paradiddles. We're going to play this exercise 3 times, okay? Unless I forget and we play it more or less, but generally speaking, we're going to play it 3 times through. And we're also going to do some little surprises in there. I'm not going to tell you what they are, but you'll see, and they'll make sense when we get there. All right, you ready? Let's do it. Learn the music as fast as you can if you don't have this memorized already from the intro video. Memorize it quickly. I'm sure you will, but the music's down there just in case. Here we go. 1 and 2 and paradiddles. Here we go. Very good. 2 and again, 2 more times here. Very good. And last time, here at this tempo. Very good. All right, let's talk about it for a minute. This is super slow on purpose. This is really slow, and I really want to give you a chance to understand how your hands feel while you're playing this exercise. What does a good downstroke feel like? What does a good tap stroke feel like? That's what we're working on in the first 2 phrases, right? Make sure you're thinking about that and memorize that, because that doesn't change the entire exercise. We could break this down further just to go quarter notes. We could be kind of monotonous and kind of tedious, but what's not monotonous is going straight to 8th notes. And making these feel exactly the same as, yeah, that should feel identical. And then even still, when we slide those individual lefts or individual rights, this part, this is your constant. This is your home base. So if you can feel that, especially once we get to paradiddles, if you can feel that, if you can feel those tap strokes, those clean down strokes, and then controlling the other notes in between and afterwards, then you're in great shape. So if you can do it at this really slow tempo, you're gonna be so far ahead of the curve when we get to real fast one, because you're going to have the exact same control. All you got to do is work on speed and some little tweaks along the way. But it's super important to get really, really good control here. All right? A million things to think about there, but truly, there's a million more reps to go. All right? So let's keep it rolling. We're at 82 now. All right? Very small adjustment. 3 times. And 1, 2, and 1, 2, ready, go. Very good. And 2, and control your wrist strokes, not too much arm. Very good. And 2, and 1, 2, here we go. Very good. And 2, last time here. 2, ready, go. Very good. All right. Again, because this is so slow, there is so much space to control, especially when you just hear the space. Just taking out that 1/16th note partial makes this feel like endless amounts of space. That's not quite as much space to control because you're just missing the E. But between the and the downbeat of the next hand, it just feels like an eternity, at least to me. So, I don't know, I'm feeling really control on these quarter notes. So I'm really trying to rely on my feet, right? Don't forget about your feet. This is going to get you all the way through these slow tempos, but gives you lots of time to think about how your hands feel. One thing other to think about, and then we got to move on. We just have to. Is you make sure you're leading with the wrist. Sometimes when we get into lots of open spaces, people may have some tendencies. I know that I have a tendency. I like breaking my wrist. I don't know why. It's just when I started to learn drums, that felt good to me. And when I play on the drum set, I tend to break my wrist for no reason. And it's something I have to constantly think about. So when I'm working here, I want to make sure that I'm leading from my wrist. I'm leading from the beat of the stick. I'm turning my wrist, and then my arm moves up, right? So whatever it is for you, that's just one example that I have to work on sometimes, and I can feel that when there's extra space because I don't necessarily, my instinct isn't always to just turn my wrist. Sometimes I like to be loose, which can work, but it also leads to a broken wrist, which leads to less control, and your stick is pointed down. It's crazy. It's a bad habit. I know. I've always kind of had to think about it. Whatever it is for you, make sure you know what you are working on, and don't be easy on yourself. I gotta turn my wrist. You gotta turn your wrist. And we gotta get to 84. Here we go. Making a little jump here. 1, and 2, and 1, 2, ready, go. Very good. And 2, listen to consistency. 2, Here we go. Very good. And 2. And last time at this tempo. Yeah, all right. 3 reps goes by fast. This exercise is just a little bit longer. Normally I like to do 4 reps in between, but don't worry, we're going to get plenty of reps. All right, we're at the midway point of where we're headed. We just did 84 beats per minute. I'm going to do a little surprise action here. We're going to go to 85 beats per minute, and I want to just play 8 paradiddles 2 times, okay? We're not working on this skill so that we can work up to paradiddles. If you're doing some groove and you want to go, hold on, let me do a paradiddle real quick. Right? You don't have time. You just need to bust out a paradiddle. Whatever you're doing. No matter what world you're in for drumming, you need to just be able to do the skill set. So we need to practice that. I want to do a little mini test here of 85 beats per minute. I want to do 8 paradiddles just to see where we're at. Can we jump right into? All right, that's what we're going to do. I'll count us off. 8 paradiddles, we'll do it twice. 1, 2, and 1, 2, ready, go. Very good. That's it. All right, let's do it again. Just see where we're at. And 1, 2, 8 paradiddles. Very good. All right, this is just a check-in, just to see how it feels, just to see where we're at and where we need to work on. All right, with that in mind, we're jumping 86, back to the builder exercise, working on all those skill sets. And 1, 2, and 86, here we go. Very good. 2, and again, 2, ready, go. Very good. Last time here, and 1, 2, ready, go. Very good. All right. I want to talk about sound quality real quick and how that affects your hands. So when you're playing these downstrokes and then a nice tap stroke in the very beginning of this exercise, does this sound and feel the same as when you get to this? You can have kind of a tight grip. You can play with poor technique in order to control that accent tap pattern, especially because we're changing hands. You can get away with poor technique there. Where you can't get away with poor technique is in the actual paradiddle. You can kind of get away with it here, but not really. That doesn't even let you kind of get away with it. You can kind of get away with it here, You can be tight, you can over squeeze with your hands, you can not be relaxed, but you can't, the last two patterns, it's just impossible to play double strokes if you're not legato and rebounded and controlling. So there's two clues. You can feel how it feels in your hand. I like how I'm pretending like I don't have a stick in my hand. You can you can know what it feels like in the hand, and you can also listen to the sound. Right? You know the difference in the sound. We talked about this before. Over squeezing versus nice and rebounded, nice and open, and letting the stick breathe and make the sounds it's intended to make. So, how does it feel? How does it sound? But you already know all that. 88, here we go. Let's go 1 and 2 and 3 times at 88 beats per minute. Very good. 2 already sounds better. 2, ready, go. Very good. 2, last time here. 2, again, go. Yeah, really good job. That's a relatively big tempo increase from 80 to 88 beats per minute. You might actually feel a difference from that. You don't always feel a difference. Sometimes you can, and this is definitely one of those times. All right, we're flying through this thing. We're already at our goal tempo of 90 beats per minute. Let's do a handful of reps here and see where we're at. Let's see how this feels. 1, 2, and 1, 2, ready, go. Very good. And 2, and again, 2, ready, go. Very good. Last time here, and 1, 2, ready, go. Very good. So one thing to think about as we head into our bonus tempo here is when you're playing just the 8th notes in the beginning and throughout the whole exercise, can you think mentally of the paradiddle, the full 16th note? Can you hear that? It might make your hands do the exact same pattern. It might help you relax a little bit, especially in the beginning parts when when you're inserting those E's with the lefts and the right. Right? It might just help you, remind you, whatever it might do to trigger your brain how to relax and how it should feel at your end goal, right? You don't want to change techniques. You want this to feel the same throughout the entire exercise. So start to notice where things feel different and figure out what you can do to replicate that paradiddle feeling. All right? Cool. Now, jump into our bonus tempo. We're at 94 beats per minute. We're going to make a little jump here just to test the waters, dip our toes in to see where we're headed. Let's go. 1 and 2 and a few times at our bonus tempo. Very good. And 2, and again, 2, ready, go. Very good. Last time here, and 1, 2, ready, go. Yeah, cool. This is one of those times where the bonus tempo is almost like a relief, like, oh my goodness, I don't have to focus so much on being perfectly in time because it's so slow. But it's such good practice. Like, this is a skill you could come back to if you're flying through paradiddles at 200 beats per minute one day, and then come back to this and just see, like, oh my gosh, how much control this takes. Space is one of the most challenging things to control in drumming. Like the space between the notes. Really hard. All right. You know what we're doing. We're going to do some performance reps. We're dropping to 90 beats per minute. All I'm doing is thinking about space between lyrics that I could have just put in there. That's a Dave Matthews Band song, and if you don't know that song, go listen to it because it's great. Anyway, 90 beats per minute is our goal tempo here, and we're going to do 2 performance reps. I want you to get into the mindset of what your performance is, whether your performance is excited and animated and really kind of being an actor, or are you really stoic and you don't need to do all that? Are you locked in? All right. All that, we're at 90 beats per minute, 2 times. No errors, because you don't have to. That's right. 1 and 2 and 1, 2, ready, go. Very good. Last time here, and 1, 2, do your best. Yeah, very good. All right. Did you think I forgot? I didn't forget. We got to do the same thing that we did at 85 beats per minute at our goal tempo of 90. We're playing paradiddles right away. I want to do 2 extra performance reps of 8 paradiddles. Let's see if we can do it. That's what we're working on. Let's see if we can really apply this right away. No builder. 8 paradiddles. 1, 2, and 1, 2. Here we go. Very good. 2 and 1, 2. Last time here. Very good. All right, so that's where we're at. That's somewhat of a representation of your ability to play paradiddles at 90 beats per minute. If it went really well, that's super exciting. Then you're probably anxious and ready to get from 90 to 100, and we're going to go there next. But if it didn't go so well, you might want to back it up. You might want to realize, like, I just didn't have the control to play 8 perfect paradiddles yet. I changed my hands. It doesn't quite rebound the way that I want it to. I'm stopping the stick and squeezing too much so that it's hard to control her at the lower end. Whatever it happens to be, then run it back. Watch this video again and do it as many times as you need to in order to get you to where you want to be. But if you're ready to go to the next one, I will see you there. Thanks for playing along. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks so much for playing along. If you liked that video, please let me know down below. Let me know why you liked it. Let me know what you're working on so I can make more things exactly for what you need. And if you didn't like it, keep it to yourself. No, if you didn't like it, please let me know why down below, because I want to make videos that you need. What skill sets do you need? What would make you better faster? Let me know. And if you want to get some real feedback, tag me in videos. Send me an email, tag me on Instagram, tag me on YouTube. I want to give you comments. I want to make this a community, and I want us to all get better at drums faster. All right, I'll see you in the next one.